Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
What a day, what a broadcast, what a Friday we have lined up for you on this 14th day of March 2008. All right, we're about to break, so we'll hold him through the break. It's Congressman Ron Paul. We're extremely honored to have him joining us from up on the Hill today in D.C. Congressman, congratulations on defeating the Peden files.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was glad we were able to do that. So when people know what the message is, I think they're quite willing to vote for it.
Absolutely. You know, we've got you for about a minute more and then about 15 minutes in the next segment. But in the minute we've got, what do you want to talk about? What do you think is most important today as you join us?
Well, the thing that I watch the most is what we've talked about many times, and that is the reflection of a flawed system, and it's reflected in the value of the currency. Great nations go by the wayside, you know, when they ruin the money and inflate, and that's what we're witnessing here on a daily basis. And here we've seen gold hit $1,000 an ounce. It's voting against the dollar, for sure.
All day yesterday, the Drudge Report, the gold in, dollar out.
Well, that's what's happening, and I'm sure they're working very, very hard to try to moderate the exit from the dollars. You know, the plunge protection team's always involved and planning things, and they would like to fix the price of gold at $500 an ounce if they could. So in spite of all their activity to prop the dollar up by affecting the gold price, the market is overwhelming, and they cannot stop the dollar from going down.
The websites are libertycommittee.org, ronpaul2008.com, and many others. We'll give you those on the other side, and we'll get the congressman's analysis, and he's an award-winning economic mind himself, on what he thinks we should do, what we could do to reverse this inflationary depression that every top economist we interview says we're going to enter in the next 2 years.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
I was just talking to the congressman during the break, and he wanted to make it clear the main website to visit all of the sites that he officially supports is ronpaul.org. Is that right, Congressman?
That is correct.
ronpaul.org. That's the main gateway site. He was telling me that he's not officially with the Liberty Committee anymore, so the main place is ronpaul.org. Okay, we've got 15 minutes with you, Congressman. I want to move fast here. Can you first assess what we're entering and how long you think it'll take until, or if we're going to get into an inflationary depression? I have had literally 15, 20 top economists on, the shadow stats guy, the head of the New York School of Business on, just countless on, saying it's going to be a depression. A, do you agree with that? B, time frame. C, how do we stop it?
Well, you know, I think it depends on how you're looking at it. I'm sure there's some people who are already in their own personal depression. You know, if you're losing your house or if you've lost your job and you can't pay your bills, it's very depressed. But overall, I would say that we're in serious recession, and there's stagflation, and that means prices are going up. And the Fed works on the assumption that you take care of rising prices by giving us a weak economy. So they raise interest rates like they did a while ago, and they precipitate a recession. Then they hope they can keep the recession from being too bad by printing more money, and of course that's the main problem. The things that we have to do are not acceptable politically, because when the market gets out of whack due to Federal Reserve activities of creating too much credit and having artificially low interest rates, what the market is saying is you have to get rid of the bad investment and liquidate the malinvestment and get rid of the excessive debt that people can't handle. So everything we're doing now, whether it's the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, the Congress, or even the president trying to give pep talks like, say, well, if the people would just spend money, go further in debt and buy consumer products, we won't have a recession. That's a lot of nonsense. So what is necessary is to allow this liquidation, but The Federal Reserve is not going to do that. They'd have to let the interest rates go to, you let the market determine interest rates, and Congress wouldn't be just printing a lot more money and bailing out everybody and sending everybody a check for $600. And the markets are agreeing with what I'm saying, because no matter what they do, every day or two they come up with a new plan, a new injection of money. And no wonder the markets are saying, well, all that's going to do is weaken the dollar. And weakened dollars means more inflation. More inflation means that people don't have enough money to pay their bills, so they print more money. So it's a cycle. So what we need to do is look at monetary policy. We need to eventually get rid of the Federal Reserve System. We need to prevent them from monetizing debt. The fact that they can just take Treasury bills and use that as collateral to print money is awfully foolish. But it is overwhelming, and I think it's going to get worse as long as they prop up a bad system and try to keep all these mistakes in place. That's why we'll move toward a period of time which is going to probably be defined as depression. So I would not bet against a depression coming here in the next couple of years.
Well, a recession is 2 quarters of a downward trend in the graph, and a depression is really 4 quarters of that at the bottom. Well, every economist I talk to says this is going to go on for 2-3 years, and they say that it will be a depression. It's just the media may not call it that.
Yeah, and the other thing is the government may not give us the true statistics. You saw the figure today about the CPI didn't go up.
Yes.
Food and energy was flat or went down a little bit. Nobody believes that. Can you imagine the government telling us that our food prices aren't going up and the energy prices haven't gone up in the month of February?
Isn't that the big issue, that the government is losing all credibility and that it's a crisis of credibility?
It is to many degrees. People, that means they lose confidence, in the currency. Sometimes there's a false confidence in a currency. We've had the benefit of that over the years because we've had a strong economy and a strong military. So we've had this false confidence. But no, and I think losing confidence in the government is a good, healthy sign, because why should people be confident in the nonsense they hear? In what we do.
Shifting.
So I think it's good that the people are questioning and are losing their confidence in just depending on the government to solve every problem.
Shifting gears into the military front, Fox Fallon resigned. He talked to Esquire, said that it was a bad idea to attack Iran. He had openly told foreign media that we didn't want to attack. It was a bad idea. And then the White House basically had him resign. Where do you see the Iran front? Are you still worried about a Gulf of Tonkin or something?
Yeah, I sure am. And, during that episode with Fallon, what did the oil prices do? They went solidly above $100, $110 now. So a lot of people talk about, why is the prices high? Oh, it's just those speculators. Because there's a pretty good supply and demand's down a little bit. Why are prices up? But they never say, well, what about the value of the dollar, or what about the political atmosphere in the Middle East? I mean, we have our Navy over there. We keep threatening Iran, and we put sanctions on them. We want to add more sanctions. And then we have this admiral resigning, which means that he might have known what they were planning, which means right now it raises the chances of us doing some silly thing and very stupid thing and starting to attack Iran.